There are 4 types of hypoxia, and this video should make them simple. Hypoxemia means simply that there is not enough oxygen in the blood. That's something you can measure on a blood gas machine, and it'll tell you there is a low partial pressure of oxygen in the blood. But hypoxia means that your body is not getting enough oxygen for your mitochondria to use effectively for aerobic respiration. And they're technically different things, because you can be hypoxic without being hypoxemic, as we'll demonstrate. There are 4 types of hypoxia. They are called hypoxic hypoxia, ischemic or circulatory hypoxia, anemic hypoxia, and histotoxic, and we'll go through them. The most common and the simplest is hypoxic hypoxia. This is simply a case of you're not getting enough oxygen into the blood. So this could be any problem before the oxygen reaches the blood. So either you're not breathing properly, you've got a blocked airway, or the lungs aren't working properly, or the blood vessels to the lungs aren't working properly. So things like asphyxia, pneumonia, pulmonary embolism, pulmonary congestion with fluid, that kind of thing. That's your hypoxic hypoxia. You're just not getting enough oxygen into the blood. Now, ischemic or circulatory hypoxia is different. You might be getting enough oxygen into the blood and into the red blood cells, but you're not then delivering it to the tissues effectively. So you get a cardiac or an ischemic hypoxia. So the blood, if you test the blood, it might have enough oxygen in it, but that blood is just not getting to the organs. So you see this in heart failure or in specific tissue ischemia, limb ischemia, that kind of thing. Anemic hypoxia. You're getting enough oxygen into the blood and the blood's being pumped around the body well enough, but there are not enough red blood cells to carry enough oxygen. So in severe anemia or bleeding, you can have anemic hypoxia. There's enough oxygen, there just isn't enough hemoglobin to carry it. Finally, we have histotoxic hypoxia. So you're getting enough oxygen into the lungs and into the blood, there's enough hemoglobin and it's being pumped around the body correctly. However, the mitochondria still can't use it properly. So this is either because the hemoglobin won't give up the oxygen when it gets to the cells, or it will give up the oxygen, but then the mitochondria, for whatever reason, can't use the oxygen. This is what's seen in sepsis. You get mitochondrial dysfunction. Cyanide poisoning, you get uncoupling of aerobic respiration. So the mitochondria does most of the aerobic respiration process, but then it can't link it properly to create useful ATP. So those are your 4 types. We've got hypoxic, ischemic, anemic, and histotoxic. And that explains why sometimes you can have enough oxygen in your blood, but not in your mitochondria, and therefore still be hypoxic. And the final weird one is carbon monoxide poisoning, which gives you both anemic and histotoxic, because not only does it bind to your hemoglobin and not let go, meaning you basically don't have any effective hemoglobin to carry oxygen, but it also causes mitochondrial dysfunction, which means you then can't use any oxygen that is available, and that's why it's so deadly.